Hi, welcome to Ellibelle Yoga and Wellbeing with Janice. Thank you so much to everybody who has joined over the last couple of months. I've been absolutely blown away by your support, and I really hope I can give back to you in some small way. This is a completely beginner's practice. A lot of you that have joined have said that you're new to yoga or just getting started. So I just wanted to go through some of the basics in a very simple, short practice, just to get you a bit more familiar with some of the cues and instructions and positioning elements of the asana or the poses. You don't need any fancy equipment. If you've got yoga blocks, fabulous. If not, cushions, books, folded blankets are all very, very useful. You don't need to go out spending heaps of money. So we're going to start an easy pose. Now, if you're just starting out and you've got quite tight hips, sometimes just elevating the hips up a little bit higher help to just release through that hip area. Now, don't worry if your knees are up high or you have to take your feet a little bit further away from you. Don't worry. Yoga is all about you and your practice, not about what the other person next to you is doing. So we're going to begin to lengthen through the spine. So the best way to imagine this is that we've got a string just on the crown of our head, and that string is being pulled up. So we're lengthening towards the sky. Now this is going to cause you just to tuck your chin very slightly, not too much. We're not looking down, just tucking that chin, so we're lengthening through the neck. Lengthening through the lower back as well, just getting rid of any slouching. Give your shoulders a roll up, back and down. And throughout most of your practice, this is really where you want to keep your shoulders away from the ears and drawing back towards each other. Now, one of the other important elements of yoga is pranayama, your breathing. So we do need to consider our breathing a lot more than we would do in other exercise fields. So you're going to begin on your next inhale by seeing if you can expand not just through your front chest like we normally do, but through the side ribs and even the back. So on your next inhale, just see if you can really expand through that whole rib cage area. And as you exhale, just contracting those ribs back together. Well done. On your next inhale, see if you can draw that down all the way down into your tummy and lower back area as well now. So nice deep breath in, expanding through the rib cage, front, back and sides. But also now the front of the tummy, the sides and the lower back. So you can just fill up, it's almost like becoming a barrel. And fully exhaling, just engaging through the abs to help you exhale. 2 more breaths here. Just trying to make them as long and controlled as possible. This is a really good thing to do if you're feeling a little bit anxious or stressed. Just take a moment somewhere and focus back on the breath. Well done. We're going to inhale the arms up. Trying to keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Going to interlace the fingers and push the palms away from you, so palms are pushing up towards the ceiling. Now on your next inhale, I want you to push those palms up and just look up gently, not too far. So we're just gazing at our hands, arching backwards through the spine just very slightly. And as you exhale, you're going to lower the arms to shoulder height, pulling the elbows away. We're going to curve the opposite way through the spine. So tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down to shoulder height. Inhale, Last one, exhaling. Inhale the arms up. But as we exhale this time, we're going to bring the arms into a cactus or goalpost shape. So elbows are in line with the shoulders. We're squeezing the shoulder blades up and just glancing up slightly, same position as we were before. And take a couple of breaths here. This is a really lovely pose to do if you sit at a desk all day. Helps relieve tension through the shoulders and the neck. Well done. Exhale the arms down. Fantastic. We're going to come into tabletop, so you'll hear that quite a bit, tabletop. It's basically an all fours position. So positioning is quite important here. Hands are beneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And hands are also as wide as the shoulders. Knees are below your hips, directly beneath the hips. And the tops of the feet are pushing down into the mat. If you find that really uncomfortable, you can tuck your toes. So we're going to go through some cat-cow stretching. So we start with a cow, where we inhale and drop the tummy, lift the tailbone and lift the head. So we're over-exaggerating the back bend here as we inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to do the opposite, so into the cat stretch. So we tuck the tailbone, we tuck the chin, and we push our hands away from the mat. So we're really pushing down into the floor, separating the shoulder blades. Inhale, back into the cow, drop in the tummy. Now don't worry if you can't keep the same pace. So you might be breathing a little bit quicker. It takes a lot of practice to breathe slowly. So just go at your own pace. Let the hips and the tailbone start each transition here. You might hear some little cracks or crunching as you do this. That's absolutely normal, as long as there's no pain. Also, if you find any discomfort through your wrists here, you can come up onto fists instead. That's absolutely fine. Last cat stretch. Squeezing together. Well done. And come back to a neutral position. Now we're going to work the core a little bit here. So you might find this a little bit challenging to start with, but just do what you can. So first of all, you're going to start by sliding the right foot back and just resting them on the floor. Rest the toes on the floor. On your next inhale, you're going to see if you can lift that foot, keeping it flexed until it's in line with the body. Now don't worry if you can't bring it up that high, just keep it where you can. Breathe, squeeze through your tummy and your lower back. Now if you're feeling quite comfortable here, on your next inhale, you could bring the left arm, so it's the opposite arm to the leg. Now don't worry if you're wobbling, I still wobble quite a lot in this position, but engaging through the legs and through the core are really going to help with stability. Well done. Next exhale, bring them back down. Well done. Let's change sides, so take the left leg out, slide the toes along the ground. On your next inhale, lift the legs, really driving with the heel here. We're lifting with the heel. Just take a couple of breaths, find that stability through your core. And on your next inhale, if you feel like going a little bit further, lift that right arm. Now you might find you're much more stable one side than the other. Again, that's perfectly normal. We tend to be stronger on our lead side. Exhale, back to center. We're going to do that again, one more on each side. The right toes slide out. Inhale, up. Take a moment to just center and balance yourself. Your next inhale, lift the left arm if you're there. Remember, you go at your own pace. Keep breathing, stay strong. And exhale down. Start to slide the left toes out. Inhale, pushing up with the heel. Once you feel good and balanced, inhale the right arm up. And a couple of breaths here. And exhale down. Well done. Going to go into one of my favourite poses now, Balasana, which is child's pose. So your toes come together and your knees open up around hip width, maybe a little bit wider. We sit back onto the heels. Now again, don't worry if you're a little bit further away. That might not be very comfortable for you. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to the floor and slowly begin to walk the hands away from us. Now, if you're quite new to yoga, you might want a cushion or a block or a folded blanket just below your head because you might not quite get down to the ground just yet. So just keep walking those hands away until your head either meets the ground or the cushion or whatever prop you might be using. So we're still trying to draw the bottom down towards the heels. They probably won't touch the heels, but we want to keep that weight over the heels. Arms can stay extended out to the front, either up on fingertips, or you can let them relax down. Alternatively, you can bring the arms in the opposite direction so the hands are down by the feet and let the shoulders round and relax. Now breathing is a little bit tricky in this position. We're squashing our tummy, our face is near the floor. So really try and use the back and the sides to expand through your breath. And play around with the positions, see what works for you. Some days you might feel one way, and others a different way. Our practice is rarely the same 2 days running. Well done. Inhale up. We're going to come into our first downward dog. Now, if downward dogs don't suit you for one reason or another, stick with the Balasana, the child's pose that we were just doing. That can be your holding pose. So, you're going to walk your hands slightly further forward. You're going to tuck the toes. And we're going to lift the hips up. And then we're going to slink them backwards slightly. So downward dog is quite tricky. There's a lot of pressure on your upper body here. So don't worry if you can only stay here for a few moments. Just bring yourself back down to tabletop or child's pose. If you are able to stay in the downward dog, or every time you come back in, just start to focus on a different positioning element. So we want to lift our tailbone up. As soon as you do that, you tend to sink a little bit deeper. We still want to lengthen through our spine. So we tuck that chin slightly. We don't want any over-exaggerated bends through the back here. We're pushing our chest through towards the thighs. Well done. Inhale up onto the toes. And exhale the knees down to the ground. Well done. That's fantastic. Just take a moment, sit back up. You might just give those shoulders a bit of a roll out. As I said, it's quite intense if you haven't done downward dogs before, you're just starting out. You will build that strength and stamina up the more you practice. Let's go back into another downward dog. Let's just see if we can hold it a little bit longer. Spread the fingers wide, tuck toes. When you're ready, engaging through the core, lift the hips and sit them back. So you might need to adjust where your feet are. I don't have very long arms, so I tend to have a slightly narrower downward dog position. And don't worry, I know everyone will be going, my heels aren't touching the floor. It's absolutely fine. As long as you're drawing down and doing the action as if you're trying to touch the floor, it doesn't matter whether they are actually there or not. That will come with time. And just see if you can find some stillness with your breath here. Lifting through the tailbone. Well done. Inhale up onto the toes and down into tabletop. We're going to come back down into Balasana, child's pose, so toes together, knees open, and resting the head down to the ground if you can, if not onto a cushion or a block or a book. Breathing into the side and back. Well done. Inhale up. We're going to come down onto our bottoms. And we're going to roll ourselves down into a reclined position. So I always like to do this slightly differently. I don't just lay down because I like to get a bit of mobility through my spine and also do a little bit of a core workout. So what we're going to do, we're going to round through the back, tucking the chin. And you can absolutely keep your hands on your legs here, outsides or along the tops. And you're going to just slide back as slowly as you can. Now some of you might find that you just collapse straight away, and that's absolutely fine. It takes time to build this up. And eventually what you want to aim is that it's controlled and your shoulders and your head come down last. Well done. Once you're here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together into reclined butterfly. So really nice for lengthening out through the inner thighs, stretching out through the groin, the inner part of your hips. And take your feet where you need them. You might need them a little bit further away from your body to start with. But in time, you'll be able to bring those heels closer to the bottom. Also, what you can do here is you can start to engage through the outer thighs, the glutes and the hips, and almost try and draw your knees further open by using those muscles. So you'll find that you feel like you lift up because you're clenching your glutes, your bottom muscles. But you'll feel like you're drawing your knees further down. They might not actually move. It's a really good way to build up some strength and flexibility here. If you'd rather just relax here, then please feel free to do that. Well done. On your next inhale, draw the knees together. You can use your hands if you need to. We're going to give those knees a good hug in. So you can either hold the front, you can hold under the knees as well, doesn't matter either way. Squeeze them in and then just gently rock side to side and really push your lower back down into the floor. It's going to give you almost a little massage here. Well done. We're going to finish with a twist. So twists, you'll find them a lot throughout your yoga practice. Most practices include at least one. Very therapeutic for your internal organs and also through your back and your spine. So we're going to start with quite a simple one today. We're going to place the feet on the floor with the heels quite near to the bottom. We're going to take the arms out to the side so we're in a T shape. Now I want you to just lift your hips and shift them over to the right. So you're on a slight curve. And then on your next exhale, you're going to let the knees drop to the left. Now you might find that they only come down about halfway. You might get a little bit lower, even to the ground. Just go with your own body. Listen to what it's telling you. The main thing with these twists is that you keep both shoulders on the floor and grounded. We're not letting them peel up. Try and breathe into the twist. Feel the benefits up through the spine, through your inner body. On your next inhale, come back to center. We're going to lift the hips and shift them over to the left now. And this time the knees are going to fall to the right on your next exhale. Again, you might find a bit of an imbalance one side to the other, completely normal. Keeping both shoulders grounded. You can always increase these twists a little bit by taking your head in the opposite direction to your knees, but just see how your neck feels. I sometimes feel like that pinches my neck. So just maybe try it. And again, listening to your body. Breathing into the twist, see if you can release on your exhale a little bit deeper. Well done. Inhale back to center. Straighten that body back up. We're going to go into Shavasana, which is our relaxation at the end of nearly all yoga sessions will end with Shavasana. It's a really good time just to take some moments to be peaceful, reflect on your practice and how you feel. So we're going to extend the legs. You're more than welcome to put cushions under your sort of knees and thighs if that just takes some pressure off of your lower back. And then wiggle your shoulder blades down so they're under your body. Hands are slightly away from the body, palms up, and either closing or just gently gazing downwards with the eyes. Focus on the journey of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Just scanning through the body, from the toes, up the legs, just noticing any tension or changes. Giving them permission to relax, working up through the body, all the way down the arms to your fingertips. Again, just noticing any tension or tightness, giving those areas permission to relax. Finally working up through the neck into the head, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the eyes and the cheeks, all the way up into the forehead, letting that tension melt away into the ground. Take a moment to celebrate your success at stepping onto your mat today, making positive choices. If you'd like to remain here longer, please do. Otherwise, let's bring some movements back to the fingers and toes. Just keep it gentle for now. Maybe a bit of a stretch. Rolling over onto your side. Just letting the head rest on the lower arm. And gently coming up to seated position. I'm going to bring the hands into prayer. We call this at heart center, with the thumbs connecting to the heart area in the chest. I'm going to take a deep breath in. And we're going to exhale through the mouth, letting go of any last bits of tension. One more time, in through the nose. Exhale out all that tension. Well done. We take a little bow, we say namaste, good day. Thank you so much for joining me and everybody else in the group. I'll keep doing some of these really beginner practices just to help you keep going and just to build on the basic foundations of your yoga practice. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.